to say son of a bitch, the same as you who hates most Nintendo shit. I'm the one who calls games for what they are. I even own the 360 and hate Gears of War. Guy who spends his money on games, fucking cars. Just a funny guy who became a YouTube star.
Resident Evil is back. Simple as that. Resident Evil 5 is finally here after the long wait for us Resident Evil fans. I've been a fan of Resident Evil for a long time now, and I was waiting for 5 to really come out because I loved 4. I thought 4 totally helped the series in a much better direction in terms of everything from controls to camera angles to hell, even voice acting. Everything was just simply much better in 4. Here comes 5. Has 5 done the huge leap in gameplay like 4 did to all the other Resident Evils? Or has it stayed the same mostly and added some new additions? Well, you're going to have to watch the rest of the review to find out.
Look out!
Resident Evil stories have never been boring, and they've always been entertaining from the very first one all the way to Resident Evil 5. This time we take control of Chris Redfield, finally, the main man in charge of everything. He is once again back and badass as ever, along with his new partner, Shiva, and they're dropped in Africa, which is a brand new setting for Resident Evil, and actually a very cool setting in my opinion. And the enemies are similar to the fourth one, the Las Plagas, and they're basically very vicious, crazy ass, running at you, grabbing you, biting you, stabbing you, kicking you, whatever way they can kill you, they'll try to kill you, especially on hard mode. So the story is overall entertaining, and we're trying to find out different things, such as the backstory of Chris during the 10 years in between Resident Evil 1 and this Resident Evil 5. Where the hell is Jill? Is she dead? Is she not? You learn the backgrounds of all these characters that you're with and everything, and it does a good job of saying all the background plus the actual current story. So altogether, Resident Evil 5 story is very entertaining, good pace, memorable characters, great set pieces, and altogether Resident Evil 5 and definitely shows you Resident Evil is back.
Wesker.
What can I say? The graphics are simply mind-blowing. They're up to par with Metal Gear and Uncharted. The environments are fucking stunning. The character models are beautiful. I mean, sure, the zombie animations can do some work, but, you know, if you're gonna bitch and complain about little things like that, whatever. I think everything just looks amazing. The designs kick ass. Sure, Chris looks a little bulkier than any other human around the earth, but that's okay, because he has the Falcon Punch, and that's all that matters. Internet nerds will know what I'm saying. Come on, come on. Anyway, the graphics are simply amazing. The backgrounds are amazing. The environments, everything is just amazing. Really, the only thing is the animations feel a little stiff, but that's about it. The famous gameplay section. This will be different for everybody. Some people, mostly the newer generation of gamers, do not like the controllers at all. Understandable. They're used to the better controls, such as Dead Space has better controls. And really, they know what they want when they play a shooter or a horror shooter or an action shooter, whatever you want to call it. They want smooth controls, and it's understandable. Resident Evil doesn't have the most smooth controls. That is understandable. Then you have the old players that don't like Resident Evil how it is because it's turned into more of an action series than a horror series with really, really shitty scares and terrible camera angles, and I can go on, but I don't want to upset all you old Resident Evil fans. Basically, Resident Evil is an action game now. Does it have any horror elements? Not really. Does it have any survival? It does, as long as you don't stack up on weapons. You will run out of ammo pretty quickly on most guns, and you will have to survive using a knife or the stun rod. Either way, Resident Evil is now an action game. You got your standard weapons: pistol, shotgun, machine gun, submachine gun, sniper, You have everything there. You can upgrade all these weapons. You also get the newer versions of those weapons, like one handgun and then a second handgun and then a third handgun, and then you upgrade those handguns to get that more powerful one, but you can use your old handgun in the meantime because it's already upgraded. See what I mean? The upgrading thing is very cool. You also have what I like to call co-op in this game. Co-op is very cool, both online and offline, which is a great feature. Please, everybody fucking do this for co-op. Anyway, you can play either online or offline. When you're playing co-op, some sections you'll need to, you know, pull a switch on one side, the other guy the other side. That's, you know, brainless, you know, co-op shit. What really co-op is for is when you have a motherfucking chainsaw bitch coming at you at full speed, rah, you know, and the chainsaw's rolling, and you could probably most likely run away and escape, but you're not doing any damage to this thing. This is where co-op comes in. Your partner can be up on top of a roof or whatever, shooting the shit out of it, boom, and, you know, hurting the shit while you're running in circles. Then it'll eventually go up to your partner, and this is where you have to intervene and help your partner. There's also other things like when you're getting attacked and grabbed on, your partner can do a punch or a kick, and it'll knock the monster out of the way. So co-op is very important in this game. It's very easy to get used to. You can share items, switch items, all that stuff is in it. Co-op is a great feature in this game. You also have Mercenaries mode, which is basically after you beat the game, you could do like little levels where there's a time limit, and basically you do that to get money and, you know, items and all that other crap. You want to get collectible stuff. But it's pretty fun because you get to play as different characters that you can in the normal ones, such as Jill, Wesker, and so on. So you get to play as all these other cool characters. So Mercenary mode is adds replayability, but I'll get to more of that in entertainment. Altogether, Resident Evil feels like a very polished, very fun game. The controls might be a little awkward for some, but I really can't see that you can't get used to it with this magnificent amount of polishing and how much fun it is to play when zombies are coming at you at full speed and you're playing on hard mode and they're grabbing you and your partner's getting eaten and you're trying to break free, but the other one grabs you and they gotta shoot that motherfucker's head off, and you get the idea. Now, if you truly can't get used to the controls, obviously the gameplay won't be good for you. The stop and shoot, yeah, it's outdated, but guess what? It took me 10 minutes to get used to it, and I had a blast playing this game with my friend. Resident Evil has changed. Simple as that. If you can't get used to it or you don't want to, that's up to you, but Resident Evil is now what it is. Of course, it's going to eventually be different. That's how they do it. But Resident Evil 5 is what Resident Evil 4 was. An action game, some little horror elements, some survival elements, but altogether it's an action game. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Oh well. To me, it's still one of the funnest games I've played, no matter the controls. Yes, Dead Space does have better controls, as simple as that. I will easily admit it. Dead Space lets you move and shoot and all that. Yes, Dead Space is also a very fun game. But Dead Space just doesn't feel up to the epicness of Resident Evil. Especially in terms of story, Resident Evil just has the better story, better backstory, more entertaining story. Altogether, Resident Evil, in the end, altogether brings the better. You know what I'm saying? Also, the co-op is absolutely a blast to play, especially online when you don't have to share a screen. It's even more fun because then you can concentrate on each other's, you know, fighting and shooting and shit. So in the end, Resident Evil, yes, is an amazing game. Probably one of the best games I'll play this year, if not the best. And it gets a very, very nice score.